It is a spooky, witchy, wizardy, warlocky, magician-y kind of gig. And you know what?
Who's
More
to
power
say?
to him. More power to
Yeah.
him. But
It was
come here
risk.
to me.
It was a risk to take in the 30s. Fuck it, look, because this isn't about any of that narrative shit. This is about the art and the visuals. Fucking
Prime
sexy
Ryan Gosling.
plastic man. Fucking
Yeah.
in the middle of a fucking magical crisis, they have to go for the ride in Paris on a balcony.
Yeah,
Get
you'd have
out
to.
of here.
You'd have to, Michael. I don't mind John Constantine. John Constantine is one of my favourite characters. This is the soundest John Constantine has ever been. This is the nicest John Constantine I've ever seen put to page.
The cleanest as well. And I know I've been making a lot of fun of the lesbian gays thing but it's great. It's fun. It's breezy. It's art. It's pop art, Ben.
It's pop art in the best way. But it's aura farming, Michael. It's just fucking cool. It's just fucking cool shit. It's just fucking cool shit. Welcome back to Collecting Issues, where this week we'll be taking a look at Zatanna, Bring Down the House, collecting issues 1 to 5 of the 2025 comic by Mariko Tamaki, Javier Rodriguez, and Hassan Otsmane-Elhaou from DC Comics.
Black Label.
Black Label.
So the comic book education continues?
We're talking inappropriate comic books.
You're into comic books, aren't you?
That's comic book shit.
Like in the comic books.
Welcome back to Collecting Issues, the monthly at this stage comic book club. Where is this a mini episode or is this a full episode?
This is a mini episode, Michael.
Is this a mini episode?
Little taster.
The bi-weekly comic book club. Ben, we're doing it's kind of Halloween adjacent because it's about magic, I guess, and horror and scary stuff. But I tell you
Michael,
what, it's not very frightening, is it?
That's not very frightening, Michael. But it is very spooky. I think it has real Halloween kid vibes, as in a little bit of Hocus Pocus, a little bit of Stranger Things in that first season when it was good. Do you remember? Remember that?
Benjamin, the only thing that this made me scared for was my own sexuality. But we'll get into that later. It's the children's Halloween equivalent of spookiness. Ben, let me do a segue here. Let me do a little side story. I was running up to the Hellfire Club today. What are you
doing, Michael?
I was running up to the Hellfire Club, Benjamin. I'm getting fit because I'm in my 40s, and that's what you do. It's one of the better midlife crises.
Yeah.
So I was running up to the Hellfire Club, and a parent was bringing their 4-year-old with them. And the 4-year-old was asking the parent the type of questions you would imagine someone bringing a child up to the Hellfire Club would be asked. Like, is it going to be spooky? And then the mother said, oh, yes, very spooky. And she said, will there be spooky decorations? And the mother said, no, just bricks. And will there be spider decorations? And no decorations, just bricks. How is it going to be spooky then? But this is that kind of spooky. This is spider decoration spooky. Anyway, this is good though. Let's
This
not,
is very good.
Let's not start too negatively because I like it. But yeah, it's not scary. It's not a horror comic.
It's not a horror comic in the traditional sense, Michael. It is a spooky, witchy, wizardy, warlocky, magician-y kind of gig, Michael. Five fun things. 5 fun little issues put together to give us a bit of a magic vibe, as it were, Michael.
Now, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Would you shut up for a second and tell me what's going on here? Because I'm familiar with the world of DC Comics. I'm familiar with the world of Zatanna, the 1950s slightly fetishy magician pin-up.
Yes.
But she's already existent. What's going on here? Why is this her origin story? What's going on, Ben? Pitch this to me, though we were in an elevator, and I'm a DC Comics executive type.
Very good.
I don't know what this is. I guess it's either a cigar or a cognac.
Okay, and because
or a wizard.
because you've cast us right back to a 1930s comic book executive, I'm going to pitch it to you as a 1930s comic book executive.
Oh, very good.
Say, Sal.
Sal, is that me? Am I Sal?
Yes, you're Sal.
All right, I'm Sal.
Say,
what
Sal.
is it? What is it, Sal? Well, I don't
Do you
know
like
any
magic?
of the 1930s. No, I hate it. I hate fucking every minute of it.
You know who loves it?
David Blaine. Yet to be born David Blaine.
Get to be born David Blaine. All right, we're abandoning the premise. Do you like fishnets?
Yeah, love him. Love him. Every secretary in the building's got to be wearing them.
Do you like cigarette girls and top hats and tails?
I practically invented them, Sal.
Well, why don't we make one a magician?
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
That's our worst elevator pitch ever. Look, Michael, one of the great challenges of Zatanna is she very rarely gets her own spotlight series, despite being a woman that spends much of her time on the stage in a spotlight. She doesn't usually get a nice, clear narrative. She is a big cameo queen, as it were. She pops up in a lot of stuff, all the way back to her origins in the very early days of her appearances. She didn't appear in her own title. She didn't appear in an anthology title. Throughout the DC universe, she appeared in various other heroes' titles, the likes of Hawkman, and so on and so forth. And she popped up across a load of different heroes' titles and was actually very important in tying the DC universe together as a shared universe. So she popped up here and there, and her purpose was very, very clear. It was called Zatanna's Search, and it was like a little cameo window in a few different heroes' things. And the search was for her father, Zatara, who'd gone missing.
Wow. Where's he gone?
Well, he's gone another, but we'll talk about that in a second, Michael. But this is an opportunity for Zatanna to really shine. It's a DC Black Label gig, so we can take it as an out of main continuity comic.
All right.
And I would almost look at this as a Zatanna Year 1 comic, if you were looking for...
Yeah, exactly. Is it? Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. If you're a Zatanna purist, and I don't think there's many out there, Paul Dini maybe, or Paul Dini maybe, he's a bit of a Zatanna purist. But
I bet he is.
I'd say he'd like this. I hope he'd like
Old
this.
Sal Dini, as he's known.
No, Sal Dini. But this, Michael, it plays a little bit fast and loose with Zatanna's origins. Her origins in the early DC days are very much a stage magician with actual magic. That's the conceit, if you want. And she comes from a long dynasty of magic. Ara, her father, was actually a Golden Age appearance back in the day. He popped up in a few different comics.
Mandrake the Magician.
Almost, yeah, pretty much the same vibe. But this, Michael, is a Year 1 kind of vibe, and it has a big focus on making Zatanna's origin a little bit darker, I think. A little bit darker than we're used to. Yeah. But as you said, Michael, go on.
Yes. Who's doing it? Who's
doing it? Michael, Mariko, I'm going to say her second name wrong. I apologize. It's Mariko Tamaki or Mariko Tamaki, but I don't know how to say it one way or the other. I apologize, Mariko. If you're listening to this, not intentional, and you can write down below how I pronounce your name in phonetics, please. That'd be fabulous. You could let me know. Mariko Tamaki,
Welcome
Michael,
to Collecting Issues, the Zero Research Podcast.
The Zero Research Podcast. Research? Never heard of it, said Ben on the podcast. Mariko Tamaki
What we lack in research, Benjamin, we make up for in apologies.
Yeah, I've got lots of those. Loads of them. So the writer of this, Michael, has written for TV and for comic books, does quite a few. This One Summer is a popular one that she's written. She's also written on Batman, Crush and Lobo, Two-Face, Spider-Man, Supergirl. She's a big deal, Michael. And she's written and received a lot of different honours, including the coveted Eisner Award, Michael, for comic books for her writing. Yeah. That's one of the big ones, Michael. And she's a curator for Abrams Imprint, which is an LGBTQIA focused imprint, and she collects a bunch of stories for them and gets them published. So she's
Benjamin,
a very accomplished writer. Yes.
Can I do my not surprised face?
Michael, before this recording started, said this was the comic that made him realize he was a lesbian. And
I think I'm a lesbian after reading this comic. I think we all are.
Given the jacked nature of several women in this, the very sturdy masculine quality that many of them bring to this comic, we might all be turned a little bit lesbian by the end of this comic.
Turned, Ben, turned.
But that's not, Michael, to diminish from the art on this. I think this might have some of the most spectacular visuals that I've seen in a comic book in a very long time. But that's not surprising at all, because it's Javier Rodriguez, Michael, who's doing this one.
Who's the heck is he when he's at home? Have we encountered him before, Ben? Have we come across his work before? No pun intended.
Well, we have, Michael, as it happens. If you go to our Substack, which is linked below in the description there, you'll find an essay called Inhale the Smoke, Absolute Martian Manhunter's insane method for showing telepathy in comic books. And Javier Rodriguez is partnered with Denise Camp on The Absolute Martian Manhunter, which is a runaway success in the absolute range of titles from DC.
You've gone wild for these Absolute comics. What's going on with you?
So good.
Every
they're
day
so
you're talking
good.
about Absolute DC. You've gone
So
wild.
good.
You're like me 15 years ago with Ultimate Marvel.
I think that might be exactly what's happening.
You've gone wild for them. Let's not go down too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Anyway, he works on that one, Michael, but he's an incredibly accomplished artist from Madrid. And he started his career kind of working around Europe, doing graphic albums for punk rock bands of all people, Michael.
No surprise there, yeah.
And he's...
Hold on, let me do my not surprised face.
He's a rare triple threat, Michael, in the world of artists. He's a penciler, inker, and colorist.
Oh, I thought you were going to
for
say
the comics.
penciler, inker, and male model. That's the
And
true
male
triple
model.
threat.
And male model. But he does absolutely stunning work, Michael. He did a run on Daredevil where he really cut his teeth with Chris Samney as a colorist, and then has a true graw, I suppose, for the comic book format and how to play around with it. I think it's very evident in this comic. This is a real, if I was to give any critique, Michael, this is a real piece of work in a positive sense. If I was to give any critique of this, Michael, I would say that over the 5 issues, the story maybe loses its way once or twice.
Holy
Maybe.
shit, Ben, I've just realised there was a story. I've just realised there was a story in my pop art lesbian magic book. Holy, I hadn't realised it until just now when you said it. I thought this was just lesbian pretty pictures of magic ladies. And one absolute Ken doll of a John Constantine.
Did you just say my pop art lesbian magic book?
Yeah. Is that not what this is? I thought that's what it said. I thought that was the
I'm on board.
subtitle.
I am on board. All for it. But I would say that the art carries this through beyond belief, Michael. I think it's just one of the most visually experimental and fun comics that I've read in a while. It plays with panel layout in insane ways. It creates brand new ways to read a page. It plays with the early days of comic books because huge sections of Zatanna's childhood are coloured in CMYK, or cyan, magenta, yellow, and K. Potassium.
Potassium, yeah. That's even funnier for the fact that you genuinely didn't plan that as a joke. You just ran out of fucking shit to say. You don't know what the K stands for.
I don't, but it's supposed to be
Kryptonite, I
black
think.
and white. No, it's black and white is what's left when you go through the YMK, which is how early comic books were printed. So there's all kinds of nice touches there from Javier Rodriguez, and I think it makes for a really fun comic, including some pretty strong horror visuals every once in a while, Michael, that pop out of nowhere and make you go, ah,
Yeah, what was that? That was spooky.
what the fuck is that? What is that one-eyed Cyclops bunny? Jesus motherfucking Christ.
Benjamin, so is this part of... So, first of all, right, this isn't... It's not in continuity. So, if your expectations or if you're going, where can I read about my favourite fetish pin-up character, Zatanna? This is pretty much it, right? Unless you're just going to hunt her down when she's a second stringer in Justice League comics, or when she's a kind of supporting main character in Justice League Dark, but is this literally is this her first ever solo outing?
No. Paul Denis did a full
he
solo
did one.
outing in 2010, I believe, Michael.
Yes, he did.
Was when they got that chance to bring that forward. But this, I think, is a... You said something very interesting before we started recording. But this is very much for the female gaze as opposed to the male gaze.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably... I think
You've
that's
just got that,
probably
haven't you?
something-
You've just got that joke.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, it took me a little bit too long, Michael, for me to be happy about
Yeah.
that, to be honest. But what I mean by that is, it's very much, for the first time, a story written from a woman's perspective on a character that probably should have had a stronger woman's perspective a while back, given who she is.
No, she's got the fishnets, Ben.
Yeah, but I don't think that negates her as a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man, Michael.
Yeah, you would think that, wouldn't you?
I would, I suppose. For those of you not watching us on YouTube, folks,
I'm still doing
Michael
the
is doing a
cigar
lot of
thing.
hand movements telling me to get on out of here. Get on out of here, says Michael. Get on out of here with your enlightened views. Ah.
Get out of here, you
Ah.
bloody 2024 modernist. I'm back in the
Speaking-
1930s when men were men and women were women.
If that hasn't put you off the podcast, and speaking of where you can find us, if you take a look down in the description there, you'll find a whole host of links to where you can listen to us or see us across the web. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, you can find us on YouTube. We're all over the place. You can go and give us a follow in all those different places. If you like the likes of Zatanna or any kind of superhero comic or any kind of comic at all, you might enjoy Collecting Issues, where we pick a book a month and we read it the whole way through unless I forget to pick one. And then
Unless he forgets.
we have to throw stuff together. But we try and get some stuff together. We try and have interesting conversations here on Collecting Issues, where we take a look at a whole host of things that make the best damn comics in the biz tick along very nicely. You can
And Benjamin,
go on.
we're not even AI.
We're not even AI.
We're actually just two real idiots.
Yeah, we're just two real guys in the decaying forest of the internet going, oh, God, things are a bit awful around here. Anyway, on with the show.
On with the show,
So-
yeah.
But if that's your cup of tea, you might enjoy the various content that we are putting out there. We are on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Threads. If there's a social media channel out there, we're not actually on X or Twitter. We didn't bother with that.
Yeah, we
Speaking
did,
of the
but we
death of
lost
the
our
internet.
sign-in accidentally.
Yeah, it exists out there somewhere. But you can go along
Exists
there and you
somewhere.
can check out loads of content. You don't have to listen to us all the time. For example, for the month of October, we're doing 31 Tales of Terror, where I recommend a horror comic to you every goddamn day of October 2025.
And if that isn't terrifying enough, Benjamin, some of the comics are even scary.
Some of the comics are even scary on top of that. You know what's even scarier? I've been consistent so far. I'm 12 in and haven't missed a day
12
or
in?
been late.
And he's not
Madness.
AI. He's doing it himself. I'm
I'm
finding
doing
it
it
hard to
myself.
believe, to be honest.
Michael is finding it hard to believe. But for a change, I'm actually reading all these comics and going through various
Yeah.
lists and pulling them together. It's a great time.
Very
It's a
strange.
great time.
Very strange.
But if you do enjoy it, why don't you go and give us a follow and a listen? And even better than all of that, if you have suggestions for comics or you want to give your own tuppence worth, why don't you join our Discord? Hop up on the Comic Book
hop
Club
on
Discord
it.
and come and chat. It's free. We don't ask for anything in return. Come on and give us your opinions.
we
Go
both
on.
have jobs. We both have jobs. We
jobs.
don't need your Patreons.
We don't need your Patreons. It'd be nice
don't
to
need
cover maybe some of the costs, but we'll talk about that
No,
in
keep
January.
it for yourself. Keep it for
Michael
yourself.
has two.
That's
Michael
your
has
money.
two kidneys. Michael has two kidneys.
I've got 2 kidneys you can have.
Well, no, Michael, one.
One
We've got
kidney you
2
can have,
kidneys
yeah.
that the listeners can have.
Between
You've
us.
got one of
That's
those.
right.
two. Yeah.
Benjamin,
Yeah.
look, we're going to talk about this comic now. We're going to talk. I see you've broken it down here into art and visuals and narrative tropes and themes. Now,
Oh, I
I
love
was
it,
doing
yeah.
a little bit earlier where I didn't notice there was a story, but allegedly there was. But-
Yes.
Are there any tropes and themes in it, though? I don't think there was.
Look, there's one of my favorite themes is, oh, my dad was a hero. Oh no, wait, he was a bastard.
Was he just a bastard?
Oh.
Now, there's no indication in this that her dad was a hero.
Well, there's a little bit of historical whitewashing, if you like, Michael. Both
Go on.
from Zatanna's own memory, where she thinks her father was murdered by her own fair hand. And she kind of thinks that she's to blame for the lack of Zatara in the world. And then
Yes.
there's also a little bit of whitewashing from the council, who says that, gee, he was the best of us. You are Zatanna, killer of wisdom. And you took him away from us. But Michael, come here to me.
I'm listening.
That's not true. That's not true.
No.
He was a bit of a dick.
Because it's a classic. Let's go back into your childhood mind palace narrative.
It is big. We do get a whole issue of, oh, look at my mind palace. Wait, Why is my dad neglecting me? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's classic. It does the classic trope of going back into your mind and I'm a little person now. I'm the age I was when this happened, which is much easier in comic books than in any other medium because you can just draw them as a child, especially if
Very
you've
easy.
been drawing them as a child. You don't have to go and try and find an actor who looks like them as a child, like you would for a movie, or digitally de-age them like they did for Millie Bobby Brown in Stranger Things, which was awful. But Ben. I don't know if there's anything new and exciting narratively in this. It's a pretty standard chosen one. You are the most... listen, Zatanna, listen to me for a second. You're the most magical. And you're just going to have to trust me that you're so special. Everything that we kind of deride about the chosen one narratives, this has it. It's like, you're the most magic. You're the best at magic. Why are you the best? Don't worry about why. You just are. You were born this way. You were just born super special. You're Percy Jackson. You're Harry Potter. You're every bloody chosen one in every narrative that's ever existed. Your dad was special, but that made you even more special. But don't worry, no matter how magic your dad was, you're just the most magic and the best and the sexiest.
Yeah. And in the comics, they spent years trying to narratively buff that out, as it were. Hannah's mum is a character called Stella.
Okay, go on.
Cinderella, unlike Zatara, was not human in origin, but was actually a member of the mystical race known as the Homo Magi, or Magic Men, if you like.
The gay wizards.
The gay wizards. And that was their... Oh, that's why you've got magic unicorn blood, Zatanna. You're real special. But in this, I kind of enjoy the narrative scalpel that Mariko Tamaki brings in here, where she's just like, "No, you're just great. You're just fab.
You're just the best." This isn't a comic about you learning to be the best. This isn't a comic about you struggling to become the best. This is the comic about just letting yourself be the best. You've always not been the best, but the only thing stopping you from being the best was you, sexy wizard lazy.
Yeah. And to some degree, I suppose one of the other major narrative tropes then here is forgiveness, or moving past the limitation placed on you by shy parents and authority figures.
It's your parents' fault that you're not the best. Yeah. Benjamin, do you think an entire generation of comic book writers blame their parent for their lack of success?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't? Very cultural.
Why wouldn't you? Very topical, Michael. Very topical. Very of the now. Is it Gen Z's fault, or is it all their parents' fault for giving them an iPad before they could crawl? Whose fault is it, Michael? Whose fault
because
is
even
it?
When
we might never know.
Even when she unleashes her magic, she just instantly knows how to do everything.
Yeah.
It's like there is no journey. And I am complaining, but I'm critiquing rather than criticizing, because I like this and I think it's narratively and thematically not the strongest. But that's not what you're going into this for. And that's not what anyone was, I don't think, going into this for. But this was very successful and deservedly successful. Yes. But as a heroic, as a year one narrative, it's a little bit weak. It's a little bit on well-trodden ground. It's a little bit... I don't know, just the hero being the hero for no particular reason other than they were born the best.
Yeah.
Doesn't sit well with me.
I think that, as you've said, the chosen one trope is so out of fashion at this point, Michael. It's been...
Go on.
It's not only been done to death, and I think the last nail in its coffin was probably Harry Potter. But it not only has it been done to death, but its parody, its postmodern take, its inversion has been done to death as well. We've we get it. You're the chosen child of prophecy, or yada yada, or the chosen child of prophecy is an absolute bell end, and that's what we're working with.
Well, that's a bit of an inversion, but this isn't. This isn't an inversion at all. This is... What happened to her dad? Let's get into that for a second. What happened to her dad?
So,
Yes.
There's an interest, I suppose, to understand what happened to her dad within this story. And the story of Zatara is incredibly interesting as well. This is an interesting take on Zatanna for a bunch of different reasons. But first of all,
Okay,
Zatara in traditional Zatanna books is an absolute hero of a man. He's great. He
Mandrake
was
the magician.
Yeah, Mandrake the magician, or the classic Victorian illustrated poster magician, if you want to look at it that way. He's the fella in the full top and tails. Exactly. Full top and tails. He's like all those classic Victorian Harry Houdini promo posters where it's a really dapper man in a kind of Leyendecker style shaking hands with the devil over a suspended pit of water or something like that. And it says, "Come see, can he escape?" and all that kind of stuff. He's that traditional, silly kind of character. But in the comics, an absolute hero. To the point that Alan Moore in his Swamp Thing run amped that up to 11 when he made Zatara sacrifice himself to save Zatanna from, and I kid you not, a creature named the Great Evil Beast in the Swamp Thing run. And that was a huge moment defining Zatara's drive as a hero. Because up until that point, Zatara took everything her father did and continued it kind of as a legacy superhero. Top and tails? Yes. Magic shtick? Yes.
Yes.
Fishnets? We don't know. We never got to see under Zatara's trousers, but she proudly
There are
wore.
allegations, though. There are
allegations.
Largely
we can't speak to that
hearsay.
on this podcast.
We weren't there.
But
we weren't
there. We
don't
don't know.
Weekend.
So
we
who's
weren't
to
asking.
say? And you know what?
Who's
More
to
power
say?
to him. More power to
Yeah.
him. But
It was
clear
risk.
to me,
It was a risk to take in the 30s.
in the 30s, huge risk.
Huge
But
risk.
in those early Zatanna things, a few different things are established. Number one, her dad's great. He sacrificed himself for her. Before that, he went missing, and she went on a huge search for him. As I said, that was her introduction to the comics in the 60s. She was in Zatanna's search for her own father and jumped around different heroes' titles until she found her dad.
Hello.
so-
Have you seen my dad?
Exactly.
No, I haven't. All right.
And
sorry,
she did
mate.
that with a
Bye.
whole she did that with a whole host of characters. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, the Elongated Man, the Atom, Green Lantern, and Batman and Robin. And Batman and Robin we'll come back to a little bit later because a very important relationship forms between her and Batman as she plays a pivotal role in Batman's origin in certain retellings. Not really relevant here, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, her dad has always been a guiding light within the comics for her. Zatara is either the object of her search, the man that she has modeled her own superhero career on, or he is the man who sacrificed himself for her and gave her the drive to be a better person and use her magic for good reasons, because he led by example. In this,
Not in this,
Michael, he
Not
is,
this in the slightest.
for all
The
intents and
bollocks.
purposes, a magic vampire.
The bollocks.
And I don't mean he's a vampire that can levitate cards. I mean that he feeds on magic, in a sense. Which, within the narrative here, is established as the greatest crime magic user can commit, is taking
That's
another
new.
person's power. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And in that world, she is still labouring under the assumption that her father was, if not a good man, then a great man. And what I mean by that was he was very influential, very affluential, if not fantastic as a person, right?
Yeah.
And that is the myth that she labours under. We find out as the narrative goes on, Michael, that her events around her childhood, so the setup is twofold. Number one, as a child, she wants to impress everyone as a magician because her dad is a famous magician and she feels that she needs to carry that on as a child. So she does magic shows for children. And those magic shows for children don't always go well. And in one particularly humiliating event, she messes up a trick and children laugh at her and mock her. And she goes straight to her father and says, "Teach me the real stuff, Daddy-O." And Daddy-O goes, "Go away, I'm reading forbidden texts, leave me be gone." And then she goes back, she does a little bit of digging around herself and gets annoyed when she tries to do the magic show a second time for the same set of children. And apparently, she disappears a set of children.
One fella, I think, just one little prick.
Yeah, well, he's gone, and that's not
Good.
great.
Good
Um,
riddance to him.
And that's a nice little nod to her existence after a now much maligned storyline in the Justice League called Identity Crisis.
Oh, is she an identity crisis?
She's the main MacGuffin of Identity Crisis, Michael.
Oh, she's the
I'm
one
go-
doing the memory wiping
Yeah,
with Dr.
she's doing
Light.
she's the one doing the memory wiping. But following her now much maligned appearance in that, so to give you a background on that, the Justice League went full Justice Lords. That's a Justice League cartoon, little nod for everybody there. And went full totalitarian at one point and said, well, wouldn't the world be better if villainy just didn't exist? And they went, oh yeah,
Mind
but
wipe
how
them
do you
criminals.
how do you
Just
do that?
fucking
Yeah,
mind
just
wipe them.
mind wipe people. Just lobotomize the criminals. And initially, Zatanna, being the young up and coming hero that she is, says, oh, I'll do that. I'll just wave my hands and call it a day. And it's like, oh yeah, well, and then everyone got in a room and say, all right, let's see you do it, Zatanna. And Zatanna went, okay. And then I don't know how to say erase backwards, but hang on, my brain doesn't work as quickly as Zatanna's. But it would be
SRA.
Ezra, right? So then that's gone. Their mind is poofed, and it's all good. And then somebody says, oh, let's get Batman in on this, and everybody goes, ooh.
Don't never tell Batman if you're doing something shifty.
Maybe we don't tell the man with a very strong moral compass that we're mind wiping criminals. Maybe he won't enjoy
don't tell
that.
him.
And Zatanna goes, oh yeah, no, he was my best mate from when I was a kid because he trained with my dad to be an escape artist. So let's not tell my childhood pal that that's what we're doing. That'll be good.
Benjamin, what's this got to do with this comic? We've
I'm
gone down a
getting to it.
rabbit
I'm
hole of
getting to
another
it. I'm
comic.
getting to it. It's an
Get to-
important rabbit
get to
hole.
the point. Magic up a point here, would you?
Anyway, turns out Batman
Pull a
being the
point
world's-
out of your hat, would you?
I haven't got a hat.
That was
Michael.
better.
Fuck
That
you.
was a better put down.
Right. Come here. That was good. Yeah, you got me. I'll edit in the better one so that you just seem like
Edit in
an
the better one,
on the spot god.
Yeah,
But come here to me.
Yeah.
What happens is Batman, being the world's greatest detective, discovers this, and rather than going, all right, fair cop, we'll stop doing that. They go, no, let's do it to Batman, and she
Do it to
mind
mind
erases
wipe
Batman.
Batman.
She mind
Oh,
erases
no.
Batman. Dreadful stuff. Anyway, it all comes out in the wash. She is pretty much shunned by Batman, her childhood friend, and the next arc that we see her in is her trying to redeem her reputation as a good person. And there are two events that are created to do that. One is the mind wipe, and the second one is a magic spell gone wrong where she disappeared someone. So in this comic, that little nod to the disappearing children is a nod to some of the character building that was done for Zatanna many, many years ago. There's my point. Out of my hat.
There was your point. I
fuck.
see.
Anyway,
Anyway, Ben. Yeah. Fuck it. Look, because this isn't about any of that narrative shit. This is about the art and the visuals.
all right. But just to come back to what happened with Zatara
Oh, you're
very,
going
very
back
quickly.
to it. All right.
Just
okay.
very,
Go on.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Zatara says that he's going to help his daughter fix that, but what he's actually going to do is nibble on her powers because he realized that she's full of latent magical potential. And so he takes her and he says, I'm going to solve this, but what he was actually going to do is the forbidden spell that swaps magic. Dun, dun, dun. But it goes wrong,
Bollocks.
and that's what happens to Zatara. Then he disappears, right?
Benjamin, what
Yeah.
about her though? What about her characterization? Stop talking about her dad. This is a comic about the lady characters.
Yes, it is.
Don't
Very
be
much
focused so much on her dad, because the comic very much doesn't. They deal with him in like, let's get this over with. The setup to payoff ratio in this is very lopsided.
Bit
The
lacking.
setup is better. The setup is better anyway. It probably could have done with being 6 to 8 issues rather than 5, if they wanted to have a satisfying battle. But it's
Wrap up.
not really about that, is it?
Not about that. It's about a millennial woman finding her power. That's what it's about.
Which was
And-
hidden from her all along, but was always there, and she's the biggest and the strongest. And she
But
doesn't
coming-
even exercise.
Coming back to that, this is how do I put this? This is a coming of age story for millennials. This is for a generation that was stunted by various financial crises and a constant feeling of imposter syndrome. And this is a woman who gets to sidestep that imposter syndrome and say, actually, I'm pretty accomplished. One of my favorite, I think, for the lack of overall solid pacing and plot, maybe, I do think Mariko Tamaki's dialogue and interaction of characters is a lot of fun.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I think her dialogue skills are amazing. One of my favorite sequences in this, nothing to do with superheroes, is where Zatanna is having a little jog through the desert, a morning jog, and what she's listening to in her ears are empowerment mantras. Things like,
Yes.
you are calm, you are successful, you are
Yes.
amazing just as you are. And
Very good.
I quite enjoyed that because it gives us, I suppose, one of the things that I really like about this, and something that avoids one of my least favorite tropes, which is the Mary Sue, Michael. Which is where a character is phenomenal, great, the biggest and the strongest, and knows it, and doesn't even break a sweat about it. That's not what Zatanna is here. Zatanna is very much an unsure, uncertain, and unhappy in her lot person. Now, that's not to say, Michael, that the rest of the world doesn't go, oh, this Zatanna's great, because we understand from this that she's being headhunted by another casino for a bigger show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Justice League want to have an interview with her.
Why? Why does the Justice League want to have an interview with her? Why?
Why?
They just
They do.
do they want a 1930s receptionist? What's going on?
Yeah. But they do, right? So,
Do they?
in the beginning, she's at the Golden Dice Casino and she's uncertain. And she's just an ordinary woman trying to make it through her career in Vegas, a dying city that isn't really.
Absolute shite box of a
Yeah.
place.
Absolute shite box of a place, the Golden Dice. And she keeps being approached by another casino owner who's like, I will give you fucking everything. I'll give you a big stage. I guarantee a packed out audience. You won't have to do it
Why?
for free tickets.
Why though?
Why?
Why?
Because she's
Why?
very good.
There's
She's a
7
good
people in her
magician.
show.
She's
Is
a good
she though? There's
magician.
7 people in. She's
Yeah.
not. There's 7 people at her show.
No, hang on. By merit of the fact, first of all, the Golden Dice doesn't promote her properly. Second of all, the Golden Dice gives her ticket away for free when you book
Yeah.
into the hotel swimming pool. Right?
Why does she have such an amazing condo, Ben, when she's pulling in 7 people a night for
Because,
shows?
it's-
and people hand over fist trying to get her to come. This is a 30-year-old millennial woman's power fantasy.
But
They're
it's
the
not
best.
a great condo. It's not
It
a great
is.
condo. It isn't,
It
Michael.
is.
The Phantom Stranger in this goes, I'm taking you back to your crappy condo, to which the millennial Zatanna goes, crappy? What do you mean crappy? And she's like, it's a shit kip. Like, it's a shit
Yeah.
box of a condo. I don't know why you're here. So it's not necessarily that she's been handed everything, Michael. She's incredibly uncertain, and she's dealing with the ghosts of her past cropping up all the time.
No,
and
no.
that
I'm not saying that she's been handed everything. I'm saying that the defining character trait of this character is that she is literally the best at everything. And
Yeah.
the only one who doesn't see it is her.
Yeah.
And that is the only thing that's holding her back.
Yeah.
That's what I think is what the core weakness of this as a narrative.
But yeah, I would agree with you. But I think, again, to come back to what really makes this stand out, Michael, I enjoy the characterization of everybody in this. I really enjoy how Zatanna has to interact with different people who want different things from her at all points. I enjoy how she constantly brushes people off. I enjoy when she first confronts the Phantom Stranger in the audience and is like, all right, why don't you pick a card? And the Phantom Stranger's like, no, I'm not taking
Yeah, I
part in
won't.
this stupid
Get out of my
fucking
face. I think it's just the stranger, Ben. I don't know if it's the Phantom Stranger.
Oh, it's definitely supposed to be the Phantom Stranger, I think, Michael. It's a
is
gender
it?
bend.
But the Phantom
It's either that or
Stranger's a very-
Nightshade.
Do you think it's a... But I think she's just the stranger, isn't she?
Yeah, but I would very much see that as a play on the Phantom Stranger, right down to the big white eyes behind sunglasses.
Okay, yeah.
I took her very much to be the Phantom Stranger. For those of you that are not aware of who the Phantom Stranger is and may not have recognized her in the comic, it's a gender bent version of the Phantom Stranger. The Phantom Stranger is one of DC's oldest mystical beings. He's up there with the likes of the Spectre in terms of his influence on the DC universe, but very often he's not a psychopomp. Because he doesn't bring people through death. He's a mystapomp, if you like. He guides people through their magical journeys quite often, and he's a little
like,
bit
I can't
like
interfere. Yeah.
yeah, he's a little bit like the Watcher from Marvel. He's
Yes.
Marvel's
Yeah,
Watcher, if you want.
Marvel's
Um,
Magic Watcher.
Magic
DC's
Watcher.
Magic Watcher.
But in this case, absolutely not.
Yes.
It's this female version of the character who's absolutely jacked and a bit of a badass, and seemingly a guardian for the incredibly irritating Magic Council of this comic.
Yeah. What are they called again? The casters. Put
The
them
casters,
in
yeah.
the bin. They belong in the
Casters
bin
League.
with every smug council of smug shitheads that's ever existed. Just
Yeah.
gather them up, put them in there with the Watchers Council and the Watchers and the Guardians of Oa and every other gang of self-righteous dicks, and just put them all in the bin of these are going to turn out to be no use.
Yeah. The only good thing about the Casters League is the Palace of the Casters that Javier Rodriguez gave us. And Zatanna gets to point out a little bit later in the comic, what is it with casters and having giant self-aggrandizing statues of themselves all over the place? And it does seem to be a thing.
She does have a 12-foot poster of herself in her condo, though.
As pointed out by none other than the Phantom Stranger, or the Stranger.
Yeah, I
we'll call
read-
it the Stranger for this,
yeah.
Michael, because I can't confirm that it is the Phantom Stranger. You're right.
Yeah.
We should absolutely resist that, because I can't confirm whether that's the case. The only other Magic League, which is a bit more fun, Michael, is the Bunny League, and I'm not sure what they're called.
The bunnies, I think, the rabbits.
Yeah, but that's my favorite bit of this. Is there's a league of mystical rabbits that police
Yeah.
the universe for misuse of magic, and they're in competition with the Casters Palace, or the stick up their hole casters, if you want. And I think if you were to split them across the two divides, the bunnies are kind of primordial, natural embracing of magic, and the casters are the rules and regulations league of
Jerks.
magic, if
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
look at it that way.
Real boring.
But I really enjoyed. I think Javier Rodriguez does a great job of giving each different character a bit of flair. He's not worried about. One of the things I like about this comic, Michael, is he's not too worried about super sexy all the time.
Stop.
Okay, all right.
Benjamin. There's not a non-sexy. Okay, I think what you're saying here is some of these characters didn't hit my particular kink. But every single panel in this fucking comic is sexy.
It's a bit
Every
sexy.
single panel.
You're not
This
wrong.
is it's not lewd. It's not
It's not
90s
lewd.
sexy.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
90s sexy. It's very like every bloody trope of sexy in this. Look at fucking John Constantine, Ben.
Oh,
Twink
big fucking
Ken doll
Ryan
John
Gosling looking
Constantine.
fuck. Yeah.
Fucking
Prime
sexy
Ryan Gosling.
plastic man. Fucking
Yeah.
in the middle of a fucking magical crisis, they have to go for the ride in Paris on a balcony.
Yeah, you
Get
you'd have
out
to.
of here.
You'd have to, Michael. You'd have to.
Everyone is sexy in this, Benjamin. Even the rabbit girl is doing a kind of cute bunny girl.
Kawaii vibe.
Nerd.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
you're right,
like-
Michael. You're right, Michael. But like coming back to the art
Not
and the
everything
visuals,
is
Michael,
sexy.
of
Stop
Javier Rodriguez. Javier Rodriguez is this to me. If someone was to tell me, give me a modern masterwork of comic storytelling in terms of visuals and art, I would hand them this. Javier Rodriguez has a mastery of color. He has a mastery of panel layout. He has a mastery of unique panel layout, Michael. He plays with panels to tell the story perfectly. He plays with tones in different aspects. Whenever we're in Zatanna's childhood, it is the blue and yellow of the cyan and yellow, if you want to go back to that CYMK paneling. Whenever we're in the Caster's Palace, everything gets muted and strange.
Yeah.
Whenever we deal with the Bunny League, things turn neon and they're much brighter and much more lit up. It is a colorist at
In
the
the
top of
flashbacks,
their
Ben.
game.
In the
Flashbacks, yeah.
flashbacks, it's all gothic-y 1960s Addams Family kind of colors.
Exactly. Or like any kind of 1970s, 1980s children's Halloween tale. It is a man who is just He excels in his storytelling. And I think
Benjamin.
because... Yes,
You know what else he has a mastery of?
go on.
Women in high heels bending over at the hip.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of
There's
that.
a lot of
one-
that going on. That's all I'm saying.
I know
it's
we
for the
said a
female
second
gaze
ago
bit.
that it wasn't exploitative. There is one one introduction to Zatanna where she's taking a bunny out of a cage and she's in
One
her
panel.
boxer shorts after waking up.
Yeah,
There's-
and topless.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
topless. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we were a bit.
Benjamin, there's a lot of full body shots in this. There's a lot of full body shots of people like going up ladders or down ladders or falling down something in a sexy pose. But it is, again, it's not lewd. It's not like,
lewd.
It's not like 90s comics where you could see a character's front and back at the same time because they twisted so provocatively. It's very pin-up-y, though. What are you showing me? So lesbian-y, Ben.
Yeah.
Every confrontation starts so it looks like they're going to kiss. I was surprised that John Constantine showed up in this. And
I was so disappointed
someone
when
had
John Constantine showed up. In this.
heterosexual sex.
I was so disappointed when John Constantine showed up in this, Michael. I was promised other things and I didn't get them. No. But I think it's funny. John Constantine is an essential part to Zatanna's narrative in that he has always been the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Zatanna. And so bringing him back in, but I find it kind of irritating because he has become part of the furniture in Zatanna's story. And what I mean by that is he's almost included as a staple. And it's kind of annoying because he doesn't need to exist in this story. To me, he is one additional character that isn't necessary.
That's because you were taken in by the female gaze in this, Benjamin. That's
I
why you
probably
didn't want-
was, but
You didn't
you
want
know-
no hairless, muscular men showing up around you.
I don't mind John Constantine. John Constantine is one of my favorite characters. This is the soundest John Constantine has ever been. This is the nicest John Constantine I've ever seen put to page.
The cleanest as well.
The cleanest as well. Like, he likes Zatanna. He comes in clutch. He delivers her from a weird battle for her soul between the casters and the bunnies. He takes her to Paris, whisks her off her feet, keeps her safe, delivers her from an initial assassination. Fucking phenomenal. The assassin was my boyfriend all along.
He changed
trope.
his mind.
He changed his
mind because I was
mind.
too sexy.
Yeah, because I was too sound and too powerful and too great. And do you know what? I don't hate it. It's a fun interlude. Again, Javier Rodriguez delivers phenomenally. Paris is this weird Barbie land pastel pink the whole way through. It's like, do you know what it reminded me of? Do you know back in the day when you used to watch the Chuck Jones Looney Tunes cartoons? It is Chuck Jones's version of Paris. It's the backdrops that Pepe Le Pew was.
It's Pepe Le Pew, Paris. Benjamin, summon forth from your comic there. Summon forth topless John Constantine. This is my favourite John Constantine panel of all time. Now, you know I don't have much time for John Constantine as a character because I don't like grubby men in trench coats ever since the incident. But
The incident.
this is the cleanest, most muscular and oiled up John Constantine we have ever seen in
Look at
comic books.
Look at him.
Look at him. What's he doing? Look at him. He's so shiny.
He's eating a croissant, Michael.
He's eating a croissant. John Constantine doesn't have time to be eating croissants. He's eating fag ends.
Yeah. Well, he does smoke constantly. I will give that to both Mariko Tamaki, and he is constantly holding a fag.
Yeah, but he even smokes cleanly.
Yeah. They're very taut cigarettes. They don't seem damp or moist as they should.
Yeah, very taut herbal cigarettes that are probably health cigarettes rather than grubby cigarettes.
Yeah. They're mint tipped.
Benjamin,
Folks.
let's talk a bit about a bit of lampshading that goes on in this.
Go on.
So we get a flashback where Zatanna goes back in time to her grubby 1960s horror style mansion.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to two old ladies in Las Vegas saying, "What day is it?" And the other one says, "It's Wednesday." And then the other one says, "Doesn't feel like Wednesday though, does it?" Was that a bit of lampshading of, look, we know some of this visual inspiration is coming from Wednesday in the Addams Family? Or did I
don't
completely
know.
misread that?
I don't know. They're revealed to be part of the Casters League, I think. They're spying
But
on
what's the thing
Zatanna
about
at
the
one
Wednesday?
point.
That page there, Ben, and
I
have a
don't
look
know.
at
I'll
it.
go back to it here. It's a few miles back here, but I'll go back.
Yeah, it's about midway point, basically. It's when the shit starts hitting the fan.
It's when the demon first attacks. It's when Zatanna's kind of it's her leaving the normal world behind moment. If you're looking at the hero's journey, she's suddenly cast from a world of I don't do magic, I don't do magic, I don't do magic. Holy fuck, that's a big giant evil magical being. Yeah, and it's pretty good. It's pretty solid, Michael. Where are they?
Where are those
are
two
they all
ladies? I
together?
think it's a little bit later that they show up. I can't find my
No,
copy
it's
here. I
it's
tried to
just
find it earlier.
before. It's just before the big scrap.
What's going on there with that? Is that a bit of lampshading?
Today, it says today, Betty, yes,
Yeah.
Janice. What day is it today? Wednesday. Huh. Doesn't feel like a Wednesday. And I don't know if that's because the stakes have been ramped up and interesting things don't happen on hump day. I don't know if that's what that
Okay.
means. I took it to
I
mean
just-
that.
Yeah. I just got the slight feeling of there's certain overlap here. It's not Wednesday Addams the comic by any stretch of the imagination.
But
the
there's big
goddamn
Addams Family
house and-
vibes to some of it. Yeah.
There's some Addams Family vibes, especially to the kind of flashbacky stuff. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone made a modern version of this and cast Jenna Ortega as Zatanna.
Yeah. Sure.
You know,
I
that
don't
would
know.
work.
Yeah.
Is that what they were getting at?
I don't know. It's a good.
I don't know either.
I might write to Mariko Tamaki and
Ask
just
her.
ask very nicely.
Ask her, have we misread that lampshade? Is the lampshade on the wrong bulb?
Also, if you think we've put the lampshade on the wrong bull, leave us a comment if you're listening on Spotify, or go to one of our many social channels, link below in the description. Leave us a comment there. We want to know. I'm confused. But I suppose, Michael, that brings me to one of the most interesting parts of this for me is the magic battles and the scrapping that happens. Because it'd be very easy to think this was all non-superheroic, that it was kind of a young woman finding herself. It was all. Javier Rodriguez does a phenomenal job. That first appearance, the demons themselves are... What I really enjoyed about them is they're very otherworldly in their design. They don't follow the traditional Christian depiction of a demon that we've got since times medieval, where it's, horned and lizardy and lecherous. We didn't get that much of that. They're a strange, almost tribal set of creatures. The one that we encounter initially is terrifying. It's a stone-masked creature chewing on its own hair, and it's all spindles and fire and distorted. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really phenomenal. And then it turns out that when you reveal, or when you remove the mask, Michael, it's just a giant maw leading to a pit with a tongue.
Yeah, little bit Beetlejuicy, little bit Nickelodeon's
Yeah.
Real Monsters.
Yeah. And I really
a
liked
little
that. I
bit-
thought,
That era of monster design, I really like when they summon the big mouth thing at the end by saying arise, which you never know if that's going to work or not. And then hands start coming out of the mouth, and then hands come out from within the hands, and basically a whole army of demons come out hands first. There's something very creepy about hands coming out of the mouth like that. I'm doing
Yeah.
a spidery hand.
my
gesture.
hands are... hand maw is no good.
Get
good.
them back in there. Get them back in the
there.
mouth.
Get those hands back in the mouth. But look, in terms of standout art, Michael, like this is beautiful. It's got amazing stuff. My favorite panel of the lot is probably when Zatanna is sent down the rabbit hole, or the bunny. What is it called? It's a bunny well, as the bunny lady points out, and it's
Feels like
straight.
semantics.
It's straight out of Jim Steranko. Jim Steranko did a run in the 60s.
Yeah.
Nick Cave,
Yeah,
agent,
yeah.
or Nick Cave, agent of Shield.
The most depressed agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nick Fury, agent of Shield, and Captain America. He did a run on those. This is straight out of that. It's got weird eyeballs in weird places. It's got big flowy things. Look at the bunny rabbits and psychedelic movement down the bottom of the page, Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal. And then that
she has an otherworldly experience in that bunny rabbit hole, which is quite Grant Morrison's Invisibles.
Yeah.
Like there's an aspect of that.
Yeah.
I got vibes of the Invisibles off this.
Absolutely.
Maybe because there's a character in the Invisibles who is the White Rabbit, and there's the whole Alice in Wonderland lost down a rabbit hole vibe, which maybe they're both taking from the same influence rather than one directly influencing the other.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I think, I think this is definitely a collection of influences, Michael, even down to the random eyeball that's watching her. Like, that's straight out of Jim Steranko for me, again. It's crazy stuff. But also, now that you've said the Invisibles, Michael, there's a lot of Doom Patrol to this. Particularly towards the end of the comic. And I mean Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol now. Especially towards the end of the comic, where we finally get the villain reveal of her father. And I think the villain reveal... It's my first time
Ben's
talking.
first time talking. Oh, shit, we did the same joke. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, we've ruined our entire podcast.
No.
But, the big reveal is one of my favorites, Michael. And it's probably not a favorite panel, but it is one of my favorite pages. Because he is just a figment. He's a shadow of his former self. He is the boogeyman that exists in the back of Zatanna's mind, I think. And he comes across as that several times. And I suppose towards the end, Michael, what's revealed is that Zatanna has a secret language that only she speaks, that other casters can't access. And we see that effect a few times. This kind of smudged writing.
The squiggly smudged
effect.
writing. Yeah.
And that's how she defeats her dad originally, because she has access to something that other people don't have access to. Now, is that Zindela in tying back to her original DC origin? Who knows? Maybe she has access to a weird parallel dimension language, and maybe that's why the Bunny League is interested.
Some sort of deep magic.
Deep magic, because she does it again there in the kind of in the climax. She does that strange stuff. But anyway, doesn't matter. She defeats her dad in the end. Spoilers for the old comic there.
Yeah, he's a bollocks.
And goes, he was a real bollocks. But Michael, such a fun comic, I think.
Breezy. We read a lot of heavy shit on here, Ben. For example, last month we read 21st Millennium Men.
20th Century
boys.
Men.
Stop fighting, boys. That's what we call it.
Stop fighting. Oh, boys. Oh, boys.
Oh, you boys. Stop fighting, boys. But yeah, this was breezy and fun and pin-uppy and I know I've been making a lot of fun of the lesbian gays thing but it's great. It's fun. It's breezy. Yeah. It's art. It's pop art, Ben.
It's pop art in the best way. In the best way.
I stand by that. The narrative is not its strongest point. The narrative is
and I would agree.
It's a decently constructed skeleton to hang moments on and to hang great visuals on.
Aura affirming, as the kids would say, Michael. There's a lot of aura affirming moments in this.
Very good.
Arguably one of the greatest Gen Z contributions to comic books, unintentionally, of the 21st century. Aura affirming is this concept that a character doesn't necessarily embody great power, doesn't necessarily have the chutzpah to back up a moment of real visual style or flair. It's a joke among Gen Z, Michael, where it's like, if you see that Tool trying to be cool at the back of a party in his leather jacket leaning against the wall, he's aura affirming. He's trying to collect invisible cool points. But it works very well, I think, for describing comic visuals, because certain panels in this jump out and you go, oh Jesus, that's very fucking cool. Oh, that's very fucking cool. And there's plenty of stuff that your logical brain might get in the way. And you might say, oh, that doesn't make much sense. Hang on, how'd you do that? Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean she just folded him away? What do you mean you just folded him away?
There?
Where's Batman there? What's going on? But it's aura affirming, Michael. It's just fucking cool. It's just fucking cool shit. It's just fucking cool shit. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great Owl comic book.
Very good. Let's recommend it to people who like comic books.
But come here, Michael. Do you know who probably has a better idea of whether they like it or not?
The listeners. Is it the
The
listeners?
listeners, Michael. They do indeed. And if
Yeah.
you enjoyed this episode, send it to someone who likes Zatanna. There aren't many people out there, I don't think, outside
There's
of
loads.
fetishists. But you know,
But look,
if
there's stuff for every type of fetishist. That's the
is.
best thing.
there is
Benjamin,
surely.
there's one panel. There's one panel where the stranger takes off her trench coat. That's the moment when I realised that I was a lesbian.
Yeah, yeah. The first Phantom Stranger transformation into armor, Michael.
That's when you realised you were a lesbian. Great stuff. Great stuff.
But
I
come
hope
here,
this doesn't come across as negative because it's
not. We
it's
love
great.
this comic. It's a really
Yeah.
good comic.
Yeah.
Could have done without
But
John
no- yeah.
Constantine ruining my lesbian romance, but that's fine. I'll allow it.
The fucking straights. The straights showing up ruining our lesbian romance.
We can't have Anton, Michael. We can't have Anton. But come here. Do you know someone who'd
Yes.
enjoy this comic? Send it to them directly. Come on, lash it over to them there. Lash it over to them there. If you're listening on Spotify, leave us a
Yes.
comment. Leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. Give us 4 stars. Nothing less than that. 4
No.
or 5. That's what I
No.
want.
No, leave it at 5. Leave it at 5.
Leave it at
Don't do
5.
4.
Same with Apple Podcasts if you're listening over there. If you listen to us on Acast, if you've somehow found us over there, just follow us. You can follow us directly on Acast and you'll get a little email every time we put out an episode. Do that. Go over there onto YouTube where you can see our faces and say,
YouTube.
oh, I really hate those guys now, and I'll know to give them a smack when I see them. Just go over there, but don't forget to subscribe as you do. I wouldn't smack Mick. Mick will smack you back.
I wouldn't
I'll
recommend-
take it.
wouldn't recommend
I'll take
that,
it.
Ben.
I'll take
Yeah, I
it.
wouldn't-
Mick
I
won't.
wouldn't
So
recommend
don't be
advising
smacking Mick. But you can give me an L puck if you see me in
Yeah,
the streets.
Grant.
Grant.
He'll
Grand.
crumble like John Constantine's trench coat.
Like John Constantine's croissant crumbs as he fondles Zatanna's hair in a Parisian Pepe Le Pew hotel. You can also jump
Yes.
up on our Substack.
Yes.
You'll find an essay all about Javier Rodriguez's art style in there in our Absolute Martian Manhunter essay that I've already spoken about. If you'd like to contribute to our Substack, if you'd like to write something for the Substack, why don't you hop up on it and get in touch with us? We might put it up on our
Yes.
Substack.
We won't know if you don't tell us.
We won't know if you don't tell us, folks.
Yeah,
But-
tell us.
If you haven't
Yes.
had enough Halloween shenanigans yet, head over to Instagram. Follow us for our 31 Tales of Terror. And give us a follow over there. We'll get brand new horror comics. Speaking of the end of October, Spooktober, as the kids call it, we have a very important comic coming up. We have Come Find Me, an autumnal offering curated by none other than maestro of medieval horror, Becky Cloonan. It's from the
Ooh.
very, very new and shiny publishing company, Distillery, made up of some of the finest comic artists and storytellers in the biz, Michael. Would you like to hear what it's about?
Tell me what it's about, Benjamin. Don't oversell it, though, because I don't want to read it and then it's rubbish and we have to backtrack on all this.
Within these pages, Cloonan unearths a corpse with 2 coins laid over its decaying eyes. When an opportunistic thief robs the cadaver of its last possessions, a sinister curse erupts, dooming all it touches. Hamlet Machine, Lucifer's Garden, presents a chilling tale of a musical demon who makes Faustian pacts with unsuspecting victims, creating minor key symphonies of human pain. Celine Loop
Didn't that
and 2
happen in
other
Buffy?
It did. Celine Loop and 2 other secret contributors join this insidious bonfire to conjure a modern, all-female descent into folk horror dread.
Oh, I didn't know it was all female. We're back on the lesbian gaze. Fabulous.
Fabulous. It's been a month for it, Michael. Been a month for it. Folks, tune in, follow us wherever you're listening, and you'll be able to hear that. It'll come out in about 2 weeks' time. And just enjoy it. Just enjoy yourself. Go pick up Zatanna. Have a lovely, light, breezy read over 5 issues and marvel at some great art. It's from DC, though.
And then read the spooky stuff.
Then read the spooky stuff. Do that too. All right. Okay, that's it now. Bye.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Spooky. See ya.
Ooh.
See you in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.